let's go with Isaiah Stewart, good old beef stew, who I don't know how I feel about Isaiah Stewart, if I'm being honest. If you really put a gun to my head and ask me who I think is going to be the more impactful player in, let's say, 3 to 5 years, Sadiq Bey or Isaiah Stewart, I might still say Sadiq Bey. Isaiah Stewart, I don't know if it's for the culture in terms of the extension that he got. I just don't see how he impacts winning at a high level in terms of the playoffs. Remember, I asked you that question with Marvin Bagley. If you put Isaiah Stewart on a championship level team, what is his role with that team? I don't think he's starting. I think he's a guy that's going to come off the bench. I mean, if you put him on the 2023 Denver Nuggets, does he play 10 to 15 minutes a game as a backup big man? I think you can make the case there, but is that really worth the money he's getting paid? I don't really agree with that. I think he was a little bit overpaid, but for this young Pistons team and all these guys on these rookie contracts, I don't think it's going to necessarily hurt the Detroit Pistons. But for Isaiah Stewart, played 50 games in his third season. Last year, started 47, 44% from the field, 33% from three, shot 4 attempts per game. So a lot of attempts from three last year. I mean, he went from in 2022, Isaiah Stewart shot 0.6% attempts. So didn't even take a three a game in 2022. He increased that to 4 shots, 4 3-point shots a game in 2023. Now he obviously tailed off pretty heavily down the stretch. He got that percentage up to around, I think it was like 36, 37% from three, and then it kind of tanked near the end. I mean, free throw percentage, 74%. He's increased that every single year. I think for Isaiah Stewart, the hope is with him, he comes off the bench, he gives you some energy, he plays hard on defense, and you hope that 3-point shooting percentage continues to increase. But if you want my hot take on Isaiah Stewart, I just don't think he's going to be a player that's going to be a focal point for the Detroit Pistons when they're finally ready to win. By no means do I think he's a starter on a championship team. I do think he's a bench piece for this team. Now, he will be a starter this year. He'll probably be a starter next year and potentially the year after that. But I think when the Detroit Pistons are finally ready to contend for a championship, I don't know if Isaiah Stewart is going to be a guy that can play a huge role for the Detroit Pistons when they're finally at that level we want them to be, which is in the NBA playoffs. But the hope for Isaiah Stewart, he shoots at least 35% from three. I think that's a good baseline for him. Field goal percentage decreased a lot last year compared to his first 2 years, but obviously he was taking more threes, taking more shots. So I do think that kind of evens out. His second year, 51%, decreased to 44% his third year. Hopefully he finds the happy medium between those two in his fourth season. And yeah, that's really all I got on Isaiah Stewart. He played 28 minutes per game last year. He'll probably be around that this year. Maybe he gets closer to 30. But yeah, Isaiah Stewart, it'll be very interesting to see. He's a young player that can still show some improvement. He's 22 years old. He's the same age as James Wiseman.